So Lincoln Riley gave a Zoom press conference today, and there was lots to talk about in it, but I want to focus on, well, the part that got me the most charged up, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about what Lincoln Riley had to say about recruiting and a little bit about returning to football, right? So Riley said today on the press conference, no, we're not going to move up our timeline from June 1 or July 1 just because the Big 12 conference said that we can return June 15th, just because the Pac-12 and the Big 10 are leaving it up to the schools as to when they're going to allow kids to return, and just because the SEC decided they were going to let people return to campus on June 8th. Riley has been consistent in saying, if we're going to play football, I don't need them for that many weeks. Need them for about 6 weeks of preparation, if that, right? Riley has been very clear about, hey, why rush back? There is no reason to rush back. And he took pains to stress during this presser that they had decided they weren't going to return until July 1, weeks before the NCAA, weeks before the Big 12 conference, weeks before other schools. And he's very proud of that fact. He's proud that they had a plan in motion and they had a plan that they wanted to stick to that makes as many people happy as they can. He also outlined they are going to quarantine their staff and their players before they even get to do much of anything. So they're going to have that extended period where they're in quarantine. Then they're going to get tested, and they're going to get tested regularly. Now, in as far as competitors returning before the University of Oklahoma, I know there's some fans that are like, yo, Lincoln, you got a first-year starter at quarterback, and last time I checked, you lost one of your best wide receivers and one of your best tailbacks. Don't you need the extra work? To which I've been saying, no, they don't. It's football. It's fine. And that's pretty much what many coaches have said. Even Tom Herman's gone as far as to say, nobody's expecting the kids to be in the best shape when they show up in June. And I don't expect that. And yeah, the product might not be as good as it's been in years past, but, you know, we managed to play 150 years where quite literally kids go home for 3 months at a time and return to be pretty good at playing football, which I respect and I genuinely like. But the thing that had me charged up was when Riley said, when we got word that our competitors would return early, we didn't flinch, which charged me up because that is the college football version of come and take it. That is the most "this is Oklahoma" statement I have ever heard, because they know at Norman 5 consecutive Big 12 championships, 3 consecutive trips to the college football playoff. And that's kind of what the energy has been like and needed to be like from the moment Lincoln Riley was handed the keys. He believes that this place stands alone. And you know what? He's got good reason to. The thing that I love most about Oklahoma football when it is at its best is that it's a bunch of people that were thrown into a wasteland, a place that was designated as a landfill, and said, nope, we're going to band together. We're going to fight tornadoes. We're going to fight racism. We're going to fight segregation. We're going to fight the Dust Bowl, and we're still going to kick your ass, which is the equivalent of what you had to have to come out here in the first place. To paraphrase Bill Bowerman and talking about how his people trek from the East Coast to Fossil, Oregon, which is right there on the West Coast, there are people we lost along the way. There are cowards that didn't try, and there are us. We are the us. We're here. Like when people ask me about Oklahoma, and one of the reasons I ride for it, yeah, I throw shade at so many of my fellow Oklahomans, but can't nobody throw shade at them except me. You don't get to talk about my place when you're not of this place. It's the same sort of pride that I feel Texans have. People used to come to the University of Tulsa to play football, whatnot. Still do. Just check the recruiting roster. But the thing that they would have is that Texas fight spirit to them. All right? I had classmates that would put up the state of Texas flag in their dorm rooms. And they would say with great pride, Nah, dog, I'm from Texas. As if to say, this ain't going to be how it goes. And yeah, they ride with their different area codes and the 4 states that Texas is. East Texas, North Central Texas, West Texas, South Texas. But at the end of the day, they're very proud to be from a state that was quite literally a country before it was a state. And I feel that same sense of pride with the state of Oklahoma. The University of Oklahoma football program outdates the state by 12 friggin' years, all right? And we don't let you forget that. We started playing football in 1895. Became a state in 1907. We was Indian territory. That's what we were, okay? We was shooting at each other. And then you think you're going to come up in here and you're going to tell us what's good? This is why we punk on Texas, right? Not so much here lately because, damn, Tom Herman, like you making it real hard for people to talk noise about you right now because you had the good sense, not even good sense, just the right heart here, man. Because I wrote this down and I believe this and I want to give it back to you because this is how I put it out on the Twitters. Lincoln Riley in his presser said, all lives can't matter until black lives do too. Tom Herman said to Brian Davis at the Austin Statesman American, you're a minority football player at one of the biggest brands in the country. You have a voice. Use it. I support them in that. And then there's Dabo Swinney saying, we've had a bunch of bad news. One of these is not like the others. That part. Get that part through your skull. Okay? Right now, what I've been telling my friends is when you hear someone make a racist remark, believe them. Don't try to talk around it. Don't try to justify it or say what they really meant was. Just believe them. And if you have folks like Lincoln Riley who is really not even leaving you an inkling of misunderstanding him, clarity is the most important part of these conversations right now. Ride with that man. Because he also acknowledged, look, I have a lot of black players on my roster. And I stand with them. I would stand with them, period. It's important. It's what he believes as his inner belief. And I believe him when he says that because Riley's been the same dude all the way along, unlike some other folks. All right? There are people that are making these quarter turns, as my girlfriend Laurel likes to call them. I'm not so easy about those things because I lived this life. I've been black for 33 years in July. So there's some things that I feel like I'm in the PhD courses and some people are still just graduating high school on some of this stuff, but I need to be much more savvy about that, which is one of the reasons why I have tried to genuinely listen to folks when they want to talk with me about these things. But I genuinely enjoy the other aspect of this that is pandemic, where Riley's going, nah, not only do we not need to cheat, because we know that there are going to be some coaches that are going to be supervising some important lifts in the weight room to make sure they're doing it right because that voluntary word gets stretched quite easily. And Riley remarked about that too, going, hey, we know that they're going to be doing whatever it is they're going to do. But this is Oklahoma. We're used to doing a lot with a little. But if you give us as much as everybody else has got, we're going to beat you. And that's been what it is. Basically since the inception of the Big 12 Conference, going all the way back to Bud Wilkinson. All right? Even Biddy Owen, for which the field is named. That's how we get down here in the state of Oklahoma. It's one of the reasons I love this place. I had Jim Ross on my radio show earlier this morning. And I can't tell you how much it meant to me personally to be able to talk with that man for a half an hour. He's a hero of mine, and he has a great heart. He's tremendously genuine. And I am privileged to have had him as the voice of my pro wrestling childhood. And by now, y'all all know that I'm a pro wrestling fanboy. And now I get to feel that way about Lincoln Riley. And sometimes people let me down in that way. But as long as Lincoln Riley has been calling plays, when it comes to stuff that actually matters, I can depend on him. And that means the world to me. Even as I am the first to criticize him, I'm the first to bring up 0-4 in the college football playoff. But at the end of the day, does that stuff matter as much as what's going on right now? No. Take care in the virus. Take care during this upheaval in our country where Black Lives Matter protests are popping up all over the place. Listen to each other. Listen to our stories and then become part of our stories. All right, that's it for me. Doses.